The rich neighbor and the beautiful wife. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a poor man named Samuel and his beautiful wife, Isabella. They had been married for many years and were incredibly happy. Samuel worked as a farmer, and though they didn't have much, they were content with their simple life. Isabella took care of their home and tended to the garden. She was a woman of great beauty, but more than that, she was kind and loving. Not far from their home, there was a rich and handsome man named Victor who lived in a grand mansion. He was known for his wealth and charm, but he lacked something that Samuel had: true love and happiness. Victor, after noticing Isabella's beauty, became captivated by her. Every time Samuel worked in the fields, Victor would visit their humble home. "Isabella, you're so beautiful," Victor would say, "but you deserve more than these simple clothes. Why doesn't Samuel buy you something truly beautiful? If he truly loved you, he would give you the finest dresses and jewelry. Divorce him and marry me, and I will give you everything your heart desires." Isabella at first didn't pay much attention to Victor's words, but as he kept visiting and repeating the same things day after day, she began to wonder, why doesn't Samuel buy me new clothes or jewelry? Does he love me as much as Victor says? She started to doubt her husband's love. One evening, after Samuel returned home from working in the fields, Isabella asked him, "Samuel, my clothes are getting old. Don't you love me? Why haven't you bought me anything new?" Samuel smiled and replied, "Isabella, you are the most beautiful woman in the world to me. You don't need new clothes to be beautiful." But Isabella was not satisfied with this answer. "If you really loved me, you would buy me a new dress," she said, growing upset. Samuel was heartbroken, but he wanted to make her happy. He had only a little money left, and he knew he needed it for the farm, but he also knew that her happiness meant more. So the next day he went to the market and bought a beautiful dress for Isabella. When he presented it to her, she was overjoyed. "Thank you, Samuel," she exclaimed. "Now I know that you truly love me." However, Victor didn't give up. He continued to visit, bringing gifts of gold jewelry with him. "Look at these, Isabella," he would say, showing her necklaces and rings. "Your husband can't give you these, but I can. If you divorce him and marry me, I will give you more than just clothes. I will give you gold." Each time Isabella would tell him to leave, but his words began to chip away at her. Why doesn't Samuel give me gold? She wondered. Does he really love me? The next day, she decided to test him. When Samuel came home from a long day of work, she didn't prepare dinner. Instead, she confronted him, saying, "If you truly loved me, you would buy me gold jewelry. Look at all the beautiful things Victor has given me." Samuel, feeling desperate, thought, "I don't have gold, but I must find a way to make Isabella happy." He went to his brother and asked for a loan, offering to work for him in the fields in return. His brother agreed, but only if Samuel worked hard clearing stones from his field. Samuel worked tirelessly day and night. After many days, he finally had enough money to buy the gold jewelry Isabella had wanted. He gave it to her, and she was thrilled. "Now I know you love me, Samuel," she said, putting on the jewelry and admiring herself in the mirror. But the next day, Samuel went back to work in his brother's field, determined to finish the task he had started. Isabella, feeling proud of her new jewels, was sitting outside when Victor arrived again. "Is your husband still unable to perform miracles?" he asked mockingly. "Can he make miracles for you?" "Of course not," Isabella replied. "But I don't need miracles. I have everything I need with Samuel. I love him, and he loves me." Victor, seeing that Isabella was no longer interested in him, thought of a new plan. He said, "But love can work miracles. If your husband truly loves you, he can work a miracle for you." Isabella, confused, asked, "How can Samuel work a miracle? He is just an ordinary man, not some magical being." Victor smiled slyly and said, "Come with me, and I will show you what I mean." Victor led Isabella to a nearby forest and handed her a strange-looking stick. "This stick," he said, "has magical powers. If your husband touches you with it, he can perform a miracle." Isabella, now curious, took the stick, but just as she was about to use it, she remembered how much Samuel loved her and how he had worked so hard for her happiness. She suddenly realized how foolish she had been. She didn't need magic or wealth to make her happy. All she needed was her husband. That night, Samuel returned home from the fields, tired but happy. He smiled when he saw his wife. "I've worked hard for us, Isabella," he said, "and I will always work hard to keep you happy." Isabella, with tears in her eyes, embraced her husband. "I was wrong, Samuel. I should never have doubted you. You've always loved me, and you've shown me your love in so many ways." The next day, Victor came to the house again, but this time Isabella was ready. She took the magical stick and touched Victor with it, just as he had suggested. At once, Victor was transformed into a donkey, unable to speak or move. Isabella smiled, realizing that her true miracle was the love she shared with Samuel. From that day forward, the poor man and his wife lived happily together, knowing that true love was more powerful than any material wealth or magic. They continued to live a simple, humble life, grateful for each other, and the rich man, now a donkey, was never seen again.